Here it is. I decided to put Bermuda grass in the sunniest, warmest spot in my backyard. And I've been doing a time lapse ever since I put it in. Well, not ever since, but since the beginning of this year, of the progression. I can't remember. I was watching a video and somebody was talking about Bermuda grass and this type of Bermuda that it does well in cooler temperatures and shade and that sort of stuff. So I ordered it. I ordered 100 plugs for it was like 100 plugs. It was like $100, $1 a plug or something. And I got them in October of last year, like late October. And I put them in. This is kind of what it looks like today. So it was really getting green and really starting, it's growing and spreading. It's probably hard to see in this video, but so these brown ones right here. So I had a lot of weeds start growing in here. And I was lazy. I was spraying a bunch of glyphosate down and I was killing a bunch of weed in my flower beds and stuff like that. And I started spraying it in the weeds in this area here. And I'm not gonna say killing it, but it's definitely turning brown, because you can see these other ones. I mean, look how green this is right here. You know, and oh my gosh, the spider webbing, or I don't know what you call it, the lateral growth that's going on. I mean, if you can see it down in here, see all these little runners coming out of all these pieces. Down here, this gets the most sun and is the warmest. And like I said, I planted this in November of last year, and it totally was green when I got the plugs, because they came from like Virginia or something like that. I forget where. And I planted them a couple of weeks after I got them, because, you know, October, it was late October. It was so rainy and so wet, I couldn't get out there and get them planted. And I finally got them planted in November, and they were basically dormant. They had, you know, they looked dead. And I've never grown Bermuda grass in my entire life. I've seen it, but I've never grown it. And this is just total experiments. This is where I used to have my garden. I used to grow tomatoes and all that kind of stuff here. I even had a chicken coop back here in this area many, many years ago. You know, my son asked if I would, you know, do that, and I did. So the soil is really, really fertile. I've always taken care of it. And this is also the area that I did my Ryobi expanded test for my 40-volt expanded head unit that I got. I have the tiller attachment for it, and I tilled this whole area up. And right down over here, I had dug a hole with this tiller about, it was a good 18, 20 inches deep. And it was just, I was just doing it because I was trying to see how long the battery ran. And I'd done all the work that I needed to do, and this area was really hard over here. And so this is the area that my garden used to be in and all that sort of stuff. So I pulled the garden out, and I was like, you know, I'm gonna try this for a garden, because I mean, I can grow things and I can grow a lot of things, but what I wanna grow, corn, man, I can't get corn to grow for anything. I can grow tomatoes like crazy, all these other stupid things, but man, I want to grow a good ear of corn in my backyard, and I just can't do it. So I gave it up out of frustration. I said, you know what, I'm going to plant Bermuda grass. And here it is. I don't know how long it's going to take, if it's ever going to take and fill this area up. But yesterday I worked on this edge right here, because this is my Kentucky bluegrass, and then this is my Bermuda grass. And what I did is I put a border in here, one of those plastic hedge borders. And I'm using that to try to control it and keep it from growing into my Kentucky bluegrass. Now, trust me, I know it's going to be a big battle. I've already seen that these runners, they will start growing wherever they want. And it's already started trying to grow into my Kentucky bluegrass over here. So yesterday I actually defined and started cleaning this area up, this transition area up, to make it so there's a little more definition between the Bermuda and the Kentucky bluegrass. And I, you know, kind of dug a little trench. I made the border a little bit more predominant. I took my edger and I edged both sides. I edged Kentucky bluegrass side to give it a nice good edge, and then I edge the Bermuda side, and I edge every week. So my thought was is if I could keep on top of edging, that I can keep it under control. And I pulled a bunch of runners out of my Kentucky bluegrass. You know, they were just, you know, not very long. But I pulled them out and I replanted them back into the Bermuda area, like especially where some of this dying stuff is from my glyphosate, to try to get those to fill in over there. Because what I understand is you can just take a runner and you can pull it, and it definitely has roots coming out of different areas. You can just replant it wherever. Bermuda is very easy to repair as far as I understand. So I'm going to find out. I'm going to find out if this is going to work, if this is going to fill in. I really don't feel like it's going to fill in completely this year, but my hope is that this is kind of on a slope too. My hope is I want to cut this Bermuda grass as short as my putting green. And Bermuda people are probably laughing at me right now, which is fine. But you know what? That's the kind of stuff I like to do. I like to try stuff. You know, if this doesn't work out after maybe 2 seasons, I'll probably pull it out and I'll do something else. But it's just a test. This is Western Washington. This is the hottest and the sunniest part of my backyard, except for this area up here. You can see the difference as it goes further back. There's plugs back here. You can barely see them right here, but there's plugs right here, and I think there's even one more row beyond this one. So, and you can just see the closer it gets to the fence, the more it's not growing as well. So I'm gonna hit it with nitrogen. I'm just gonna nitrogen, you know, once a month, probably at a half pound, quarter pound, probably quarter pound rate, and try to just keep this going and see what happens by the end of the season. And at the end of the season, I'll determine what I'm going to do. But the one thing I did think is that, you know, hey, if this stuff does run into my Kentucky bluegrass, my thought is in the wintertime, probably October, when it starts going dormant, it's going to be easy to pick out, pull out, and hopefully remove it if I can keep it under control, at least enough to where there's not 20 million runners running into my Kentucky bluegrass. Maybe there's only 100 or something. I don't know. I'm just playing around with it. It's something to do. It's something to play around with. It's Bermuda grass. I watch all these guys in their Bermuda grass, and I think the Bermuda grass looks good. It doesn't look as good as bent grass, that's for sure. Bent grass is by far the best looking shortcut grass around. It's even better than my Kentucky bluegrass, but the Kentucky bluegrass is just different. It's just a different blade. So I guess I'm gonna find out how this works out.